Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, am I live already? Yes, I am. Hi. How you guys doing? I just wanted to pop on here and just say hi to you guys and just kind of hang out for a little bit. It's been a long week here. I just wanted to fill out this little edit settings here and say hi, folks. Okay, let's just save that up here. All right, cool. So it's an impromptu live stream. I'm hanging out with you guys. It's been a long week. I have been doing a lot of essentially what is Zoom calls filmmaking, Zoom called filmmaking for a college that a community college that I do some work for, and I'm actually supposed to be teaching there this quarter or this semester. I actually filled out the paperwork. I'm in their system to teach video production at this college, and then you know what happened, coronavirus hit. So they canceled all the classes, and I'm in the system, and I will technically be in the system for about I think they said three years or 5 semesters until they boot me out again. So I have some time. So hopefully when coronavirus is kind of lifted, maybe 2021 for sure, because I know they're not going to be doing in-class teaching next semester. So it'll probably be mid-2021 if I even have a chance to do some teaching there. But I am helping the theater department do basically virtual Zoom calls. We're not using Zoom. We're using vMix, which is what I'm using to stream now. I just got done with a vMix call with an actress that just absolutely blew it out of the park. The best. So I really enjoyed today's performance so far. But, oh my God, Zoom, like trying to conduct this stuff over the internet, it's not good. We need to get back to actually performing in person, and I realize we can't quite do that quite yet, but we will sooner or later. So hi guys, thank you for coming by and saying great insight to the video. Hello world, oh Calvin, Abraham Wonder, I've learned a lot from your videos, thank you. Hello from Finland, glad to hear from you. How are you? I'm okay, I'm doing okay. I did impale myself on a wooden skewer last Sunday, and I'm recovering from that. I'm almost fully recovered from that. Hey Clay, how you doing? Your video card is working. Seems to be working just fine and dandy. How you doing, Bad Karma? Welcome. So yeah, just popping on a Friday, saying hi, seeing how you guys are all doing, hanging in there. What's funny is I have a video. So the last video, the perspective video, fixing perspective video, I had guys commenting that they wanted me to do a tilt shift video about tilt shift lenses, and I rented a tilt shift lens. I shot some stuff with a tilt shift lens. I have everything ready for that tilt shift lens. I shot some more material out there. Script's done, all shot and done. I just need to edit it, and I just don't have time right now to edit it. So there are 6 people on that comment section that wanted a tilt shift video. You will get a tilt shift lens video. It'll be awesome. What is my most common recurring question, says Last Man. I don't really remember. I don't really keep track, and I don't really know what common recurring question. I think the questions I get on the 24 videos, why are you so stupid? I get that a lot, so maybe I'll go with that. I think a lot of the questions I hear, are like, what camera should I buy? I just recently got a question. Oh, so by the way, if you haven't been on FilmmakerIQ.com, I have revamped the website. So we'll get into that in a second. But so a question I just got today was, I have $1,000. What kind of stuff should I buy to accomplish, accomplish whatever goal? That's a fairly common question, and it's a tough one to answer because it's just a difficult. It's so easy, it all depends on how familiar you are, how much you want to get into this stuff, and it's a tricky question. So, love from Bangladesh, how you doing? I can edit for you if I'm not working. Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to do some editing, okay. I could use that. If there are a few fun horror movies based on Zoom calls recently. So here's the thing, though. I cannot bring myself at all to watch any piece of media that is a Zoom call thing, because sitting through a Zoom call itself is a horror experience for me. I really hate it. I just hate it. I hate sitting at a computer and trying to pretend like and making sure I look okay on camera, like I'm not picking my nose, or Jeffrey Toobin-ing. If you guys get the reference, I won't go any further with that. But I hate Zoom calls because they're boring. And when you're on a Zoom call, like I'm talking to you guys right now on camera, there is no social pressure, especially if it's a group Zoom call. I've been on a lot of Zoom calls where it's like 80 people, and there's no social cue to stop talking. Like, okay, we heard enough. Stop talking. Let's let the next person speak. So Zoom calls just go on and on and on. Anyhow, so I need to go back to the comments here. So any horror film? So yeah, I'm not a big fan. But if you want a Zoom call style, I guess the John Cho's watching John Cho's movie before the coronavirus hit, which takes place all entirely on a computer screen. That movie's probably worth watching. I have not seen it, and I should, because it sounds really good. All right, let's see. Donnie Pearson says, John, and I'll help you. A-okay. Yeah, hanging in there. What upcoming film are you looking forward to the most? Honestly, I've kind of fallen off the edge as far as watching movies because nothing to watch, man. I feel bad because I used to love listening to movie reviews, but in the last few months, I just stopped listening to movie reviews. I stopped caring about movies because it couldn't go, and it couldn't do anything about it. I mean, I wanted to see the new Bond movie. I wanted to see a Wonder Woman movie. I wanted to see even the Black Widow movie, Doctor Strange. I mean, whatever the Oscars, what the Oscars going to look like this year, it's going to be slim pickings. So I don't know. I am telling you what I am doing is I'm watching a lot of streaming television now. I've gone back and watching Amazon's Bosch. I think Bosch, if you guys haven't watched Bosch, it's been around for about 8 seasons now. It is a modern noir show, and the writer is very inspired by the author of film noir movies. I forget the name of it, the name of the author, but like The Big Sleep and Philip Marlowe. Philip Marlowe is the character that he came up with. So very LA, very noir, but set in the modern times show. And then I watch, of course, The Boys. If you haven't not watched the second season of The Boys, the second season is, to me, unquestionably better than the first season, and the first season was fantastic. So The Boys, if you want a anti-comic book superhero movie, The Boys. We need flashcards for Stop Talking. Exactly. And Bad Karma, I will send you an email. So Slender Dale, hey John, do you do anything outside of YouTube? Yes, I do a lot of stuff outside of YouTube. In fact, I can't do YouTube because I am busy doing other stuff. Right now, I just talked about shooting some videos for the community college theater department. So they're doing like a series of shorts and some monologues, some shorts, but we're all doing it through Zoom. Or not through Zoom, but through vMix, and the quality is sometimes wonderful, not bad for web video, and sometimes it's holy moly. What have I done with my life? I spend thousands of dollars on lenses, and here I am editing Zoom calls. Wonderful. Okay, anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm catching up with you guys' comments, and I like to just answer them. Thank you for your videos. I love the quote you made once about we need to make films while it is important to watch, we need to make them. Yes. It's like, you can watch cooking shows all day long, but if you don't cook a meal, how do you know how to cook unless you cook yourself? Longtime subscriber Memilia Morgia, longtime subscriber, nice to see you taking live stream. What's the best camera app for live stream? Oh my gosh, Les. So, how do we stream? What's the best app to stream? So, I think the best way to stream is actually the way I'm doing it now, and it's not simple. I've got a Canon camera. Any camera will do. Any decent camera with an HDMI camera will do. Then output that to a ATEM Mini. This is an ATEM Mini, the original one. I actually bought a. Oh, can you see, guys? See it? I actually bought the Pro version for my when I do the live event video when live events come back eventually. Hopefully they will. But this is the standard one, and then that goes in the webcam into your computer, and the computer broadcasts into Facebook. So I would recommend that is the most professional way of getting streaming video onto Facebook. Other than that, just use your camera app. I mean, I'm sure there might be apps out there. I don't know any better, but to me, this is the primo way of doing it. So I wouldn't do it any other way professionally. But then again, I don't follow the app market. So I'm just going to jump around to more recent comments. If I missed you, go ahead and drop it again, and I'll hit you up again. All right, Pablo. Hey, thanks. Your content's amazing. I wonder what your beginnings in the world of film were. Good question, Pablo. So I started off in commercials. I came out of college. I was a business degree. I loved making videos as a kid, and I remember this is back in the dinosaur era. So in 1990s, late 90s, I made a bunch of videos with my friend Joe, who often appears on these podcasts with me, and we just made videos, and I loved doing it. But I tried to make a feature film when I was 18 years old. I tried to make a feature film, and I failed hard. So I said, I'm going to give it up. I gave up filmmaking at 18 to pursue, because I always wanted to work in business somehow. I love business. I love the concept of business. So I went to school for business, and I enjoyed doing that. And then the bug came back, and it bit me about the second year of college. And I said, I want to go intern I'm close to LA. Why can't I work in the movies as a business person? And I ended up interning at a cable company making commercials for local car companies and local car lots and restaurants and that kind of thing. I was in a couple commercials where welcome down to Norco Honda. I was doing the cowboy thing and all that. And so the thing about that, and I'm making the story very long here, but the thing about that was I was an intern for a whole year, and then the company laid off my two bosses. And then they kind of walked me in as an intern, like, well, you're laid off too. We don't need you. So I'm like, okay. And I felt so bad that this big company could treat my bosses so poorly. Like they both worked there for like 15 years. There was no reason why they should have been laid off, because they could have been moved to another part of the company. They just laid them off. Whatever. And these guys fought so hard to try to get back in. One of them actually got back in. It kind of tainted me as a young man. Like, I don't want to work for a company that can just lay me off. And now, mind you, I'm still business degree John here. So that's when I decided to start my own business, and that's how I began. I kind of stole some clients from the old company. They're happy to give them to me. And that's how I started in the world of film, if you want to call it that. And I've always been working as far as like producing my own little shorts or working with other people producing shorts and stuff like that. I've yet to make a feature film. I want to. It is going to be in the cards, hopefully. But I don't want to make a feature film if it's just to make a feature film. I want to make a feature film that's actually good, and that takes money, and that takes time, and that takes effort, and all that stuff. And anyhow, jumping forward to hey, it's great to Pablo. It's great to chat. Thanks for Matt. Yeah. Dark Road's on the best film school channel on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not a big fan of film school, but I think you guys can learn. I think you can learn a lot, and I think YouTube can help you learn a lot. Obviously, check out my channel. There are some channels I would recommend that are really, really good. Captain Disillusion, if you haven't seen his stuff, is fantastic. This guy edits is fantastic. Some channels, maybe not. I don't know which ones. They might not be that big. I'm not mentioning any names because I probably can't think of them off the top of my head. Bad Karma, what do you think of the Red Komodo? Are you ready for season 2 of Mandalorian's come back? I have not. That's right, it's coming back pretty soon. I'm not a big fan of Red, so I'm not really looking at the Red's ecosystem. I am almost paid off on my C200 camera. I bought a C200 and this Canon XC15. You actually can go back 3 years and you can actually see the video of me unboxing that Canon C200. I pull it out and there's packing rabbits. It comes with rabbits. I don't get how they do this, And no, it doesn't. But I'm almost paid off, so I'm looking at the Canon C70 right now. I think the C70 has an interesting mix of things. 16 stops the dynamic range. Most importantly, you have to have those internal ND filters. If you have for me, the threshold for a professional camera, internal ND filters. You don't have that, not really. To me, not really professional. You got to have the internal ND filters. Yeah, I get it. Alexa doesn't have internal ND filters. But you can get them. So to me, that's like the key. So the C70 looks to me like the one I might be getting next. Put it on a really long lease again, like I had these. Are there still some filmmakers shooting on real film? Of course. There's 16 not so much. 35, yes. 65 and 70, Christopher Nolan. 35 millimeter Quentin Tarantino. You got what's that guy? The Phantom Thread that he shot that on 70 millimeter, 65 or 70 millimeter. Still a lot of 35 millimeter film enthusiasts. In fact, I've never shot motion film, but I am starting to shoot a lot of stills film. So I've kind of gone back, and I've been itching right now to buy a new still camera because I have a Canon 5D Mark II. The thing is, I don't make money on stills. I just don't. And if I do, it's pennies, right? So I'm thinking. Keep thinking about trying to upgrade maybe to a Sony or even stay in the Canon ecosystem. But film, man, I shooting film stills on film is kind of fun. And then I shoot 35 millimeter and I shoot 4x5 film. The 4x5 film is kind of exciting because it's like 4x5 film is like 4x5 film is kind of is like a complete, for me, a completely different experience, right? Because it's the depth of field is so different. Everything about it's a little bit different. It's a little more primitive, but it's kind of cool. Anyhow, that's 4x5. In fact, I can probably show you guys. So one of the shots I shot on the 4x5 film is I was actually just messing with this just earlier today. And I'll show it to you on let's see, there it is. So yeah, this is an image of a 4x5 piece of film I shot. This is the first piece of 4x5 film I shot and developed myself entirely. Oops, I'm sorry. Go back. So I shot this around just after what they would call blue light hour. But I don't know. There's something about this kind of depth of field. I did a little tilt shift on this to kind of get the sign in focus and everything kind of blurred out. There's just something nice about this. I know it probably doesn't come across very well in the actual stream there, but I like it. I'll show you another example of another thing I was just messing with today. I think it's this file. Oops, nope, maybe it's not. This is exciting stuff. You're watching an old man pick out try to show you guys some photos on Photoshop. That's fantastic. Good. This is great. This is what happens when you plan these things meticulously out, John. Great job. You're doing fantastic. Just kidding. Let me just pull this up here. And I'll sing for you sonorously my beautiful voice that I will show. Anyhow, this is the shot. So I stitched this shot together from 3 different 4x5 films, and this is what I use for the background of my my screen. In fact, it's taking so long to load that there it goes. Open. That Photoshop is literally taking forever to load the dang thing. All right, so there, yeah. So I shot this at Horseshoe. So this is 3 separate 4x5 sheets of film, and to me, this may not be the best example, but the detail is just exquisite. You can see all the little hairs and all the crap that's in the scan, but like you can tell that, you know, the boat that's on that river, he's moving down there. I mean, it just, I don't know, there's something nice about the level of detail. Just, you can see, look at that little house right there, a little, like, I don't know if it's a bathroom or something, a little right down there. And that's in this big giant photo. So I think it's fan. I absolutely love 4x5 shooting. So anyhow, I haven't been paying attention to your chats. If I missed your chat, go ahead and feel free to put it back up. No one's going to be blaming you if you do that. All right, loser Liam, don't call yourself that. I hopefully want to become a writer or something one day. Good. Oh, I should put the camera back on me here. Let's go back to me. Boop. Hi. There we go. You know what you could do to be a writer is just start writing, man. Start writing. I'll be honest. One of the things I've been doing lately is I've been picking up cartooning. So instead of being able to direct my own films, I'm starting to draw cartoons. Maybe I can I'm trying to put together like a little comic book, because I can't direct anything right now. So I'll direct them on paper. And then when you do that on paper, like, I can draw anything. I don't, if I need a set that's going to be a big giant television studio, I can draw that, and I just draw it. So it'd be exciting. Mark McKinney, what do you think about animation as a pathway to filmmaking? Animation, why not? So animation is a different beast than live action. Live action, you're restrained considerably more than animation. But animation, man, I've kind of grown to love it recently. I kind of fell back in love with it when I watched the new Harley Quinn show on DC. I thought the animation on that was fantastic, and I was falling back in love with animation with that Spider-Verse movie. That kind of blew my mind, but I didn't think I could do it, But yeah, that kind of got me back into it. Kendra, I have several ideas for animated shows and movies. Well, you guys got to start putting them down on paper and you got to make them. I don't know how this will work or not, but maybe with an animated show is to draw a comic book or a comic book strip. Maybe that's how to. I don't know. I cannot tell you that is definitely good advice, but that's the way I would approach it. That's the way I am approaching it. So, do you think virtual production is ready for the mainstream? Absolutely not. Oh, virtual as in Mandalorian. Yeah, that is. Zoom calls, no. I have experience. It's horrible. I hate it. No, but that kind of, Mandalorian, the level of technology for to pull something off like the Mandalorian requires quite a bit. Rare understandings. Animation seems scary. It is scary. Everything is scary if you don't know anything about it. Everything is scary. No, and like to me, if you approach me and say, John, take your comic book and animate it, I'd be like, holy moly, that's a lot of work, and it is. It really is. So maybe don't go all the way yet until you can prove that you have an audience, until you prove you get some money behind you. So, okay. Have I seen the Cine Massacre short? Nope, I haven't. What filming books do you recommend? I just finished Making Movies by Sidney Lumet. I think that was a pretty good one. In the Blink of an Eye by that guy. The guy. Early onset. Walter Murch is a good one. The 5 C's of Cinematography or something like that is a good one. 5 C's of Visual Language. I think that's the name of that book. And I think that's pretty good. I want to jump down ahead here. Murch. Animating is super fun, but definitely a lot of work. Yep, that's for sure. Oh, Cass Alderman says, my teacher gave me a lesson with your videos. He is a good teacher, or she is a good teacher. I'm not sure which gender. I do not mean to assume. Kendrick Harris says, thanks, John. I'm learning animation subject drawing to improve my drawing skills. Yeah. I'm so scared of drawing that I just say I'm just a cartoonist. So I'm just going to go with cartoons. Cartoons don't have to be realistic. They can, they can have 4 fingers if they want, or you get my point. But yeah, cartooning, and I realized this, and I stayed away from cartooning for a very long time. But I've been cartooning my entire life. As a kid, I would draw pictures of our principal, in high school, and I'd call him Dick Glock, because his name was Dick Glock. What a name, Dick Glock. I would draw him, and I would draw he would be massive, like Godzilla, and he would be crushing the students. So yeah, I was a weird kid. So yeah, Dick Glock was the subject of my cartooning for a long time, and then I kind of gave it up. I didn't do a lot of drawing, and then recently I did a children's video for a school district, in which they had some cartoons that needed to be drawn, the kindergarten level cartoons. I thought I can draw kindergarten level cartoons. Just watch me. So I started drawing them on with crayon, and like this came out really good. And I thought, well, maybe I should invest in a one of those pen tablets where you draw on the screen. So I got one. It's called X Pen. It's not the Wacom. Wacom's, you know, but the X Pen's a Japanese alternative brand that's about a third of the price. And I got one, and I love it. It is amazing, and I totally enjoy drawing on it. It's because to me, I am an artist. The only reason I'm an artist is because of the undo button. It's the only reason. I'm a terrible artist. I really am. I'll draw a line like, I don't like it, undo. Draw again. I don't like it, undo. I don't like it. 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 I like it. See, I just drew 15 different lines. It took me 15 different tries, but I undid 14 of them, and I got the one I wanted. That's how I'm an artist. I notice you can't even see me. Let me go zoom myself out a little bit. I'm slow there. So anyhow, let's jump around a little bit. Jimmy asks, what's your opinion of high dynamic range? Have you ever worked with anything? Is it complicated? I like high dynamic range. I think high dynamic HDR is the thing that's going to, the next step. If you're looking for a next step in video, don't look at HF. High frame rate is not the thing. It's HDR, high dynamic range. I've seen amazing demonstrations of it. And Canon had a thing where they were showing off their new location and showing us HDR. It is incredible. Do I know how to work with it? No. I know there's a PQ, and I know there's another thing, and I haven't read up on it. I would love to do a video about HDR. It's been in the back of my head. I should probably get Canon involved. I'm sure they would help me out because I'll be advertising their stuff. Yeah, I think HDR would be cool to do a video about. So yeah. Pablo, how did the idea of Filmmaker IQ start? I soaked up myself in your videos, learned a lot. Okay, you want me to go through the story of Filmmaker IQ? We were all members of MySpace at the time. MySpace banned a friend of mine, Dennis, from the site, and I was pissed off, and he told me, so he got banned from MySpace, I got banned from MySpace, and we said we're going to go off MySpace Film Forums. It was a forum. And we were banned, and then we said we're going to go off and start our own site, and that's what Filmmaker IQ began. About 5 years of doing a lot of online blogging, where we would gather other people's articles, videos, and we would post them on our site. We decided, hey, let's make our own videos. So I started doing that, and that's how the whole idea began. Now, okay, I promised to talk about this. So the website, I took down the old website. My partner Dennis designed it a few years ago. He passed away, and then I can't maintain it. It was just it was such a hacked together thing. And I don't mean to say that disparagingly, because he was trying to build something unique, but it was bits and pieces of everything, and it was broken. So I got emails every single day, somebody saying my password doesn't work, or I say delete my account. So it was getting really like frustrating. Because excuse me, it was just totally busted. So I decided to take it down, and so I replaced it with a much simpler site. It's much easier to navigate. It is more geared toward the videos that we produced. So I kind of got rid of a lot of the old stuff that was, half of it was broken anyway. So the new site is more clean, more basic. There are some people that are writing me asking me what happened to all the content that's there. I still have it. I can go back and redo some of the old lessons and put them up in full detail. It's just a matter of function of time. It's one of those things where they're extremely time consuming to go back and do all that. But I think the new site allows me to kind of focus more on building new material, new videos, and then being able to have a place to store them. That's not just on YouTube, where it's impossible to search anything, but it's on a site where you can actually go through and find stuff. And is my mic clipping? Is it too loud? Thanks for commenting though. I will turn it down a little bit. This is vMix. Let's see. Is it my mic clipping? I'll just turn it down a tad bit. Yeah, I don't know why I have had headphones on. There we go. Just bring it down a little bit. I don't know why I had the headphones on other than to, because I was listening on earlier for other stuff. But anyhow, let's go back to your comments. All right. Paul Smith, I've been experimenting with low light shots lately so I can get some decent video of my Halloween setup. Oh, fun. Your videos have been incredibly helpful figuring it out. Yeah. 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. I'm so used to saying testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, sibilance, right? All right. What are your thoughts on the movies such as The Lighthouse, movies that go out of the way to achieve vintage look? I did not like The Lighthouse. I did not like it. I loved The Witch. Oh my God, I loved The Witch. The Witch was fantastic. The Lighthouse, not really my thing. I think what happened with The Lighthouse, there's a point in the movie where and this is before, okay, so public service announcement, if you think you have sleep apnea, you probably have sleep apnea, you should get yourself checked. And I did, and I did the sleep apnea thing. I don't fall asleep as easily now as I used to. But I fell asleep during The Witch. Not The Witch, The Lighthouse. There's a stretch of it where like, okay, where are you going with this? Where are you going? And there's a scene too where Robert Pattinson's carrying those buckets of poop out on the Strand, and it's like, I know what's going to happen. He's going to throw this poop in the water, and it's going to fly back in his face because of all the wind. Anyhow, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Lighthouse. I think it's beautiful. I think it's got great stuff in it. I just felt it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Great acting too. You didn't like my lobsters? Sorry. Anyhow. Hey, John, been a fan for a while. Honestly, I think I learned more from this channel than I did in my media production classes. Well, great, thank you. It takes a lot to give you guys that stuff. And if I want some feedback too. What do you guys think about producing contents a little bit more, some more fundamental, more basic stuff? I know I tend to kind of go into really, really deep dives into some crazy areas, and I feel like I need to come up with something that's like groundbreaking. But sometimes I feel like I overlook the stuff that's kind of basic, and maybe I think it's basic, but maybe not a lot of people talk. The example I was having was the frame ahead trick that I came up with. That video went crazy. I don't get why. Every time I mention the word frame in my video, if it's frame rate, for some reason YouTube like hands me here's a bunch of views, right? But the frame ahead video I thought was something that kind of everyone knew, or a lot of people already knew. But man, that was kind of a big hit. So I was trying to think of things that maybe are more like I take for granted kind of stuff that I could kind of share that might be. Amelia says, no, I subscribe because you are going deep. I'll try to keep going deep. I think, I always attempt to go deep on things, but there's some things I feel like there's some topics that are a little bit, I don't know. Then again, if they're simple and boring to me, then I don't think I would want to share them. I don't put the effort into making video. Like somebody yesterday sent me a video like, hey, did you see this video about shutter speed? And I thought, what is there to know about shutter speed that I don't already know? And I watched it, and I watched part of it, and I'm like, that's nothing really here. So I don't know if I want to do a whole video on shutter speed, considering I already made an exposure video which talks about shutter speed. So I don't know. Just thinking out loud. I'm just talking. So Operation Baboon, I personally like your practical videos, your blocking videos. Yeah, I love to do it. I would love to do another blocking sequel to that blocking video, because that was fun. That was so much fun. I gotta figure out a way to do another version of that. Bit depths. John Doe on bit depths. Okay, that might be an interesting one. Thong Nguyen says more basics. Yes. Okay, so we got one cue for the basics. Veggie, I like your perspective on simple things. You have a different perspective? Yeah, I have a little bit different. I have a different perspective in that A, I didn't go to film school. B, I am a business oriented person, so I come from the world of business, and I have a scientific mind. I feel like I have a scientific mind. So, but the thing is, as I get older, I don't think of science and art as two separate things. I think I've always understood them as really the same thing. Science is art. Art is science. Like when I was in high school doing calculus, trying to figure out how to do a proof. That's an art. Trying to figure out how am I going to algebraically prove this is this. That's art. That's art. It is. Captain Dissolution does that with that wide audience videos, but nice, but not. Yeah, maybe Captain Dissolution is probably good for the wider audience stuff, because he's fantastic. I've never met him. I'd love to meet him. He seems like a good guy. His videos are always entertaining. They provide that wide audience basics information. It's just very important. I provide thoughtful insights on cinema. Thank you very much. Like Thong Nines Wins asking name some more basic stuff. Well, the tilt shift lenses is one I'm going to talk about, but that's not really a basic thing. Although a lot of other photographers has covered it. I'm not sure what I'm offering that's that unique, other than just taking more of a film perspective rather than a still photography perspective. Anyhow, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe I just need to not beat myself up for coming up with less groundbreaking material. Like, okay, an example I want to give you is a Bayer pattern. Like, why does a Bayer pattern work? Why is it brilliant, actually? And I've heard a lot of people kind of, when we might have talked about it a few months ago, when that 12K Black Magic camera came out, people kind of bashing the Bayer system. So this 12K camera doesn't use a Bayer system. It's so much better. Well, not really. Bayer system is actually ingenious. It is brilliant. It's the reason why all of you guys have cameras in your pockets. Is the Bayer system, a Bayer pattern. So that's maybe. I think Bayer pattern's a video I need to do something on. Anyhow, somebody's Zayan. Sorry, 0 in 1 in 0 asks, what is your opinion on Dolby Vision HDR for movies? I have no really insight into Dolby Vision yet. Somebody on Twitter asked me, like, well, what's going to mean when Dolby Vision comes out with their new cell phones? I'm like, what does it mean? People are going to watch stuff. Doesn't mean that much. I mean, HDR is going to make your image better, but not everybody's going to have Dolby Vision HDR. So, you only can do what you can do. Why not make more business-related videos, says Operation Baboon. One of the videos I want to do is a very basics of what is a contract, because I think most people don't understand what a contract is. And I want to go from a law school perspective. Law class, my business law class. One of my favorite classes I ever took in college was business law, because this professor was so good at making business law interesting. And I'd love to bring a little bit. So what is a contract? What does a contract mean? People get so hung up on what a contract is that I think people are scared of it. And every time I go on Reddit and I go to the copyright section, everyone always says, contact a lawyer, consult a lawyer. Consulting a lawyer is a fantastic idea if you have the cash. But last time I consulted a lawyer, it cost me $1,500 for a form that I could have filled out myself. So, yes, lawyers are important. Yes, you can screw up a contract. Yes. But a contract is not always that hard. And if there's not that much money at stake, say less than $10,000, you can probably get away with making your own contract. And I'll kind of explain to you what is necessary for a contract, because it's not that bad. Zendelman Darkman, if 60 FPS was better, directors in Hollywood would be falling over themselves to shoot with it. Yeah, exactly. That's literally the point. I know I keep banning on that, but like, if 60 FPS was so much better, we've had it for 70 years essentially. Edison wanted to shoot 48 film frames a second, but you guys are fans probably, so you're probably tired of me talking about frame rate. Do 5 directors styles filmmaker? That'd be kind of cool. But then I would be Emiliano writes, do 5 different director styles, like a blocking video with 5 different director styles. So we'll do like a Tarantino, then a Sergio Leone, Scorsese, Nolan, or maybe I know he's probably out of the sphere of talk acceptability, but Woody Allen, or maybe Tarkovsky or something like that, something, or what's the name of that? Andy Warhol, Andy Warhol style. Let's do Tarantino versus Andy Warhol style versus Sergio Leone, and maybe put Spielberg in there. What the heck? That's all. The only problem with that is then I would just be saying, just every comment would be, you have failed to accomplish any of these. Your directing sucks. That's okay. But that would be a fun one to do. What would a film that you would consider to be a guilty pleasure? Mine's Pound Puppies and the Legend of the Big Paw. Okay, fascinating. One of my guilty pleasure movies, I love Rocky Horror, but I'm not sure it's a guilty pleasure because I think a lot of people love it. I really like watching Pirates of Penzance is another one I really like. I'll feel guilty about it. But here's an idea for a video that I want to do. This would be kind of fun. I did a article way back when I said, you know what year is fantastic for movies? 1972. 1972 is when The Godfather came out. Such a great movie. And there are it's also the same year that Solaris came out. It's also the same year that The Cabaret, I believe, came out too. I'm pretty sure. So it's a great year. Must have been a fantastic year. So let's look at the worst movies of 1972. And then I just made a list and I showed all these trailers of these horrific looking movies. And I think it puts in perspective more of, because we always think like, man, movies today suck so bad. But you look at 1972 and it was like the third sequel of the Magnificent Seven, because the Magnificent Seven had 2 sequels. I bet you didn't know that, but there was 2 sequels to that movie. There was a really bad, Dudley Moore was in a really bad Alice in Wonderland movie, and there was a lot of porn, a lot of mainstream porn. So, a lot of weird porno movies. Now, I'm sure we could look back and look at it with a lot of kitsch and say, like, well, those were actually kind of fun years. But it's interesting to think, like, all the garbage, and I don't mean to say that in a mean term, but all the movies that are just kind of forgotten, swept under the rug, and to go back and revisit a year like 1972 and just to see, oh yeah, they had some pretty crappy movies too. Maybe they're more fun from 2020's perspective, but they were interesting. QWERTY says Tarkovsky, Malick, Lynch, Kawasaki, not Kawasaki. Kawasaki's a motorcycle, you dumbass. Dummy. That's me. Kurosawa, I think is what Kurosawa and director style. That'd be fun. Miliana says, what about matte painting? True matte painting, does it still have a value or CGI better than it is? I wish to use some matte painting in my next production. Matte painting, it's all done digitally nowadays. And to be honest, digital matte painting is better. It's just better than real world matte painting. Because real world matte painting, you've got to paint it and then you've got to shoot it. And if you have to make any edits to it, you need to repaint it. Digital artists are now, you can do just as good work in digital. So remember the goal. What is the goal of your art? That's something I try to think about. If the goal of your art is to tell a story, then do whatever it is. It's simplest to get to that goal, right? Now, if the goal of your art is to create a beautiful painting, you want to paint. But the goal of your art is to make a movie. There's no reason why you need to paint on canvas in order to make a movie. If painting digitally will work. Now, on the other side of it, the argument would be, but there's something about painting on canvas that gives it that sense, that there's something special about painting on canvas. And I get that, and that's true. But again, if your goal is to tell a story, don't try to hurt yourself along the way. Now, if you think that painting on canvas helps you tell the story, by all means, go for it. Definitely go for it. But you don't feel like you have to be a purist every single step along the way if your goal is to get the story told. Like, I think another example is CGI. So I like to play around with 3D Studio Max and build stuff and make things in 3D Studio Max. But I'm not a purist in thinking that I need to model every single thing that's in the scene. I'd rather, if my purpose is to create a scene, I don't need to model that chair. I can just, get a chair online. I can just buy a chair from Turbo Squid or something like that. Or if a free site, I can just get a chair. So don't feel like you need to, be pure in everything you do. That's not the way art works. At least not, I don't think. Of course, if you're trying to sell yourself as a CGI modeler, you do need to do the work. Jurgen says, I can't print. Sorry about that, Jurgen. Arswald asks, what do you think of the Blender and its all capabilities of filmmaking tool? Is the future Blender? No, because I can't figure out Blender for the life of me. I do not like Blender. Do not like it. I just do not like it. It's not the future of Blender. The future of Blender. I don't like it. It's free. People like it. More power to you. I don't like it. I just don't like Blender. Zeldman Darkman, regarding the Oscars, should we judge art based on diversity? No, sorry. Last year's Oscar winner was the movie had the least diversity of all the movies. I say it as an Asian. I'm an Asian. It was nothing but it was all Koreans. There's no diversity in the movie. All right. Great point. I want to use theater workers unemployed right now because of COVID-19. Yeah, I know there's some really good ones. That's why I'm using real matte. Yeah, go ahead and use real matte painting. Look, I don't want to discourage anybody from doing anything, artistic. If you want to use something, use it. If you want to shoot 60 frames a second, go for it. I am not telling you not to do that. My only beef is with people telling me that I need to shoot 60 frames a second because I'm so out of touch and I'm the reason why, and everyone else is wrong. That's what I have a problem with. If you want to make your own movies in 60p, man, you go right for it. You'll just realize, if you're serious about filmmaking, you just realize, hey, that doesn't look right. Anyhow, Blender's a lot easier to use since the major. Okay, well, maybe I should try it out again, because I am on a 3D Studio Max, but I am using an educational version. I wouldn't mind using a legit version. I use Blender for video editing, then for CGI mod. I have to do a lot of very specific video editing, and I am an Adobe guy. I've been using Adobe for 25 years, I think. Way back in Adobe 5.5, So I've been using Premiere for that long, and I've kind of developed my own system of doing things and a system of creating videos and stuff that it is utterly stupid for me to consider any other program. And that includes the DaVinci Resolve. I cannot stand DaVinci Resolve for editing. No, sir. That is horrible. For color grading, I don't know how to use it very well, but I admit it is better. It is better in every way for color grading. For editing, it sucks. It is terrible. But anyhow, that's my opinion. I'm sure during the playback somebody will yell at me for that comment. All right. What are your thoughts on limiting hours on set? I am a big fan of not having people work 15 hours a day and then come back for another 15 hours a day. However, I do not know what the limitations are as far as the actual requirements are needed. If I have a TV show that has to turn around a production, you have to shoot 60 pages in 1 week. Gosh, I don't know how you can pull it off unless you do a 15-hour day. I literally pulled an all-nighter the other week finishing a job because I had to. Because if I didn't, then the job wouldn't be finished. So there is that. I don't know. I would prefer not having people work 15 hours a week. I think that would be great. I wish producers would allot better time and maybe budget more for it. I wish they would. But maybe it is a union thing where you do need to say, hey, you can't do more than one of these for every 3 days or something like that. I will give the union that. I think that's probably something important. All right, painting. So now we're getting feedback on my matte painting. Painting gravitates more toward uniqueness of every mark is controlled by the artist. At high level of oil painting, uniqueness as the person's mind will show up and impossible to replicate. Yeah, but is that mark going to be visible in a matte painting? Is that mark going to be even desirable in a matte painting? Do you want a matte painting to have that artist touch? I would argue no, you don't. A matte painting is supposed to be kind of represented as a background. It's supposed to be a background extension. It's supposed to be realism. So maybe I don't think that matte painting in that respects makes sense, or doing actual painting makes sense for film. All right, jumping forward here. Bridge builders and ditch diggers have worked those hours. Why should cinema be exempt? I don't think bridge builders or ditch diggers work 15 hours a day though. I think they have a little bit more, they have a little more regulated time. There are some or some TV shows especially that go for like, yeah, for 15 hours. Maybe they go 15 20 hour days and then say 2 hour break, come back and do another 15 hours. So but then again, you know, a lot of that time is spent sitting around waiting. True. But I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where a lot of people that work in film feel like they have to do those hours, because if they don't, they won't get called back. And so it's so, unfortunately, and it happens with the free world, the free market, free people working for free, and that a lot of people, it leads to a lot of abuse. So I can abuse people. You can be abused by a producer that, you know, that just wants to work the hell out of you, right? You know, and this is really the basis of the Me Too movement, right? It's the female actresses that put up with the shit because they thought it would lead to something better or lead to them being a star. Same thing with the PA, same thing with the, you know, every level. So at some point you gotta say, you gotta pull back on that. Okay. Do you think I make less chance in filmmaking when I was born and raised in the Netherlands or any other country except for America? It depends on what your filmmaking goals are. So if you want to work at television, you can work anywhere in the world. There is television to be made everywhere in the world. Every country has a home station. Every country has a home cinema. Some cinemas are harder to work in than others. If you're born in America, you're also competing against every other person born in America and every person around the world that comes to LA to try to make films. So in essence, sometimes the Hollywood experience is more intense than actually making films in other countries. So don't fall into this mindset where you need to come to Hollywood in order to make films. If you want to make films for Walt Disney Studios, if you want to make the next remake of Lion King, which I'm sure there will be another one, if you want to make the Harry Potter remake, well, Harry Potter is different. If you want to make if you want to make the next Die Hard movie, yeah, you got to be in LA, you got to be in Hollywood. That's just, you got to go where the action's happening. But if you want to make a movie in your own country, you can do it, and people will watch it in your country. I mean, there's nothing stopping you, really. There isn't. Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV Plus, Disney. Sorry, Emiliano Morgia says, Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, Disney Plus, and what's that? C19. I don't know what C19 is. What is the future movie theaters? Oh, good question. I don't know what the future movie theaters. I love the movie theater. I can't go because my county got locked down again. I have very harsh feelings about that, but I won't share them right now. But the movie theaters are hurting so bad. I don't know what the future movie theaters is, and it sucks because I love the movie theaters, and I feel like there won't be around in as numerously as they used to be. Maybe one movie theater every 50 miles, and that really sucks, and that might make the prices higher. Twigface says, what is my day job? I am a commercial filmmaker. I am a filmmaker. What am I say? I don't have any other day job than this. I don't make YouTube, but I make other kinds of films. Well, the streets are paved with gold after all. Yeah. You know, I have an American flag on my desk for a reason, because it is the country that I'm a part of. But don't get the impression that we're all just rolling around in dough and loving everything. Nah, that's not the way it works. What do you think the implications of AI have on digital effects? AI is gonna make things a little easier. It's gonna make things a little tougher. You know, AI is just like every other tool. Ultimately, what AI can do is give you options. The artist still has to make a decision. The artist really knows what the decision is to be made. AI doesn't really know. You know, AI is just, oh, try this, try this, try this. So, going to the movies will become higher class entertainment like theater and opera. The problem is, like, it's not theater or opera. That's, you know, I go to theater, you go to opera, you see that's a performer. You go to a movie, that's a recording. Could stay home. I mean, you could stay home and watch a movie. I mean, I would argue it's not as good, but it is the same idea. You know, maybe Disney has it right. That Disney does, like, you know, the Pantages Theater. I've never been there for a showing, but they'll do like a stage show before, and then you'll see the movie. Maybe that's what'll happen. I don't know. Where can we see things you make as a filmmaker? Well, if you come out here to my area of California, you might see them in like the lake. I do some work for City of Lake Elsinore, so I did their State of the City videos. So I do. They're not particularly interesting. You know, I much prefer the narrative stuff that we do here on Filmmaker IQ, but I do that kind of work. I do commercials. I do, you know, any kind of, or I do some stuff for nonprofits, which ironically pay very well. Nonprofits pay pretty well. They can if you find the right nonprofit. I do documentaries for that kind of stuff. You know, commercials. I do some work for school districts. So if you're a kid in a school district that I work, then you might have seen my videos. Are you planning to make a video about screenwriting? I am not the guy to talk about screenwriting. I'm just not the guy. That's like your John. What's his name? John Huston, the guy that wrote Big Fish. It's that guy. That's the guy you want to talk to for screenwriting. Have you ever used drones? Yes, I have used drones. I love drones now. Drones are fun. I was one of the earlier drone adopters, but then one of the batteries exploded in my house and nearly burned down my living room. So I stopped droning for a long time. And then the Mavic 2 came out, and the Mavic 2 Pro, and I bought that. Then I got my FAA 107 certification. So I am certified to operate a drone under 55 pounds commercially. Yes, ladies, that's right. So I've been flying for the city. I've been flying around a lot. I really like what happened with drones. It's amazing stuff. Still kind of scared about going out there without having a reason, but you know, it's legal. What is my favorite vintage glass? I don't really know. I don't have one really. I have a bunch of Nikons. I have them, so they're my favorite. By the way, in Italy, 40% more in TV sales since last year. Oh, that might be good. Shane Lawrence says, what's my dream project? Oh, we're going to talk about dreams. Oh, my God. I'm a comedy person. I enjoy comedy. I love shooting comedy. I love editing comedy. I love watching comedy. I love comedy. Rarely do I see comedy because they don't make comedies anymore. No, but I would love to make a comedy. I have a couple ideas. In fact, I'm trying to make a comic book out of it. So that's the idea that I'm trying to work on. That would be my dream project if I could put that together. But it would be, to be a film, and I realize this, would be very hard because it's essentially an ensemble cast of 10 characters. So that's tough. You know, getting 10 people, especially if I had to make them all work for free. Yeah, that's tough. Operation Baboon says, I like what Kevin Smith does with his movies. He tours them. He watches them with his audience in his Q&A. We wanted to see him, but he COVID. John August, thank you, Robert Vitale. Jumping ahead. Borat 2 came out. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I was a big fan of Borat. I always love Borat. Twig faces, in my AI question, I meant more like deep fakes. Oh, deep fakes, de-aging, what that means for the artist working thousands of hours that could be replaced. I don't know. Deep fakes take thousands of hours too. If you guys all saw the deep fakes are amazing. The Irishman, not so amazing. I'll be honest. Let's be honest. Can we be honest? Irishman was not good deep faking. I mean, he had guys on the internet making better deep fakes than the Irishman. So, yeah, you know, things happen. Technology will get better. You know, there's an old rule called Blind's Law, which I think is very relevant in all these topics. It's that as technology improves rendering time, so the faster your computers are, the faster they render, rendering time for your project remains the same. Because as things get better technology, we just ask them to do more. You know, like the old computers, they could barely render a frame. Well, then let's not do so much with it. But nowadays you can do all kinds of stuff. Well, let's do all of it then. So the rendering time, actually, if you look at it long term, like a CGI company like 8 years ago would have spent 10,000 hours rendering this. They're still rendering 10,000 hours. It's just much better, right? So I don't know. I think Blind's Law is gonna hold for a very long time. until we get to some sort of singularity where things just poof magically get way better. Okay, here's a good question I haven't talked about yet. What did your think about Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet, in Inception or Batman? I like Christopher Nolan. I was a little disappointed with Tenet. I think Tenet wanted to be more. Here. Let me reback this up. If you guys haven't seen Tenet, I'm not going to spoil it. Although, in order to enjoy it, you need a spoiler. That's the problem with that movie. I came out of the movie like, okay, all right. I didn't really get it. I went on YouTube and I watched some videos like Tenet Explained. And this one guy had his video and he explained this character. And I'm like, that changes everything. That literally made the movie work. That was clever. I liked it. I liked that explanation. I wish the movie would have told me about that. So, I feel like Tenet is kind of a missed opportunity. I don't think it's a failure because it's actually a very well done movie. I just felt like, I wish it did something more. LexPix asks, have I ever collaborated with a fellow YouTuber? I have not. I'm not against it either, but my schedule, my work schedule and the way I approach these videos is a little different than YouTubers. YouTubers tend to want things to go really fast, and they want to shoot it and be out in a day, and I can't do that. I found Gemini Man better in de-aging. Yeah, I think Gemini Man was pretty good. Couple scenes were questionable, but Gemini Man I think was pretty good. Forrest Gump deep fake. You mean? Well, Forrest Gump really wasn't a deep fake because they put him into the scene. They didn't fake his face on something else. Excuse me. It's the COVID. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have COVID. Let's jump forward ahead. Twigface. I don't think it'll be taking that long. Less than 10 years for deep fakes to be almost perfect. Much less than a film. I'm doing a PhD and it's coming. Yeah, I agree with you. No, I totally agree. I think deep fakes are if you have the right source material and the right thing, like you can get a very, very good deep fake. Very, very good deep fake. Oh, Mindo asks, what is your favorite focal length? Now we're talking. I like for the camera that I use, a C200, I tend to like 25 is a good one. I've been tending to go more toward wides. I enjoy the wide angles more. Telephotos I feel too constricting and too limiting to me. I tend to like the wide angles a lot more. So 25 is 18 or 25 is the one of my favorite. I shoot a lot recently on a zoom lens, on a cine zoom. So yeah, 18 or 25. I think that I'll go with that. My friend and I are working on a script. It's nowhere near finished, and we wanted to pitch it to Netflix or Amazon. The question is, how do you go about in the process? You tell me. I'd love to hear how. So truthfully, how you do it is you need to know somebody that works for Netflix or Amazon. You need to know somebody that works there, or you need to finish your project and then show it at a festival where somebody who works there sees you. Everybody wants to pitch to Netflix and Amazon. I do not know how to do it. I don't know anybody that could, help, because it's everybody does. Everybody and their brother has an idea for Netflix and Amazon. That's not to discourage everybody, but that's the thing. You gotta remember, it's like everyone else wants to do it, and if everybody could do it, then it wouldn't be worth anything. So obviously there's ways, but you got to have a connection, and that usually comes from either having like product that you can prove or a track record, but or an agent that knows an agent and that gets you in. So anyhow, I'll keep asking, suggesting. Okay, Operation Baboon. Now here's a chance. You could make a series on critiquing indie movies, series shorts on film on YouTube. Maybe watch them and makers and then interview them. So when I think about this, I did. The guys at Zacuto did this for a while, and the problem with that is indie movies and series and shorts aren't particularly popular. That's the problem. When I used to do videos, when I used to do photos on Facebook, and here's what you learn real fast, is that I could put a picture of Scarlett Johansson, and we get like 500 likes, right? I could put a picture of somebody who's not as famous, an indie photo. The indie photo could be as beautiful. The indie photo could be as perfect. The indie photo could be artistically better than like a tabloid photo of Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson will get 500 likes. The indie photo will get 3, because that's the nature of the world. That's why celebrities get paid the big bucks to work in movies. I mean, why does Robert Downey Jr. get $500 million, whatever, to be in Avengers? Because he's Robert Downey Jr. And if you put me in the title role of Iron Man, I would not be able to bring in the money. So that's the problem with dealing with indies. And on top of that, I don't like to critique other indie movies. I don't want to hurt critiquing can sometimes involve some harsh things to say. So I don't want to be harsh on my fellow filmmakers. I really don't. If you ask me for a critique and then you want to do it offline, I can I think one of our Patreon levels is to do a critique, although no one's really sent in any critiques for me to critique. But I can give you opinions. I can give you thoughts on what I think should be done. There's levels of what you can do. There's technical problems that we can talk about, and then there's moving on beyond. If you're at a technical problem, then there's going beyond the technical problem, which is more of a story problem, artistic vision problem. We could talk about it, but those kind of things are hard to do online and hard to kind of air. And then it ends up being one of those things where only the very, very select people that are interested in that particular thing will actually watch it and take it seriously. So that's the only problem. Shooting down your idea. Being an asshole. Sorry about that. All right, you guys arguing amongst yourselves in there? Okay. Droken Drethen, would $5,000 buy a decent name for, let's say, 1 day of filming? Depends on A, how good is your script, B, how good is your pitch, and C, how drunk they are. No, just kidding. I'm sure it would. I'm sure there's stars that would do it for free. I'm sure there's stars that would do it for $5,000. I'm sure there's stars that would do it for $100. I'm sure there's stars that would do it for a good meal. You know, it's all if you have their ear and you can get good with them, then that's the way to do it. But if you don't, they don't. You know, that's the way it is. Let's see. What would be a good camera to start with to make some money with film and photography? Depends on how you want to make that money. Do you want to make that money shooting interviews? Do you want to make that money shooting commercials? Do you want to make that money shooting short films? And since we're at it, do you want to make that money shooting adult content? That's a different requirement there. It all depends on how you think you're trying to make money with film and photography. What is it you're trying to do? What you're trying to do dictates what kind of camera you have. You utilize, not the other way around. Well, a little bit the other way around. Yeah, stars will only do it if they know you or through someone they know personally, pretty much. Okay, question. How to deal with the problems the Simpsons already did it? I love that question. I wanted to start writing and filming, but I have a crippling fear. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Juan. Don't worry about it. Realize that unless you're just copying something, you're never going to be the same. As long as you bring your own voice to it and you bring your own sensibilities to it, you're never going to be the same as somebody else. Especially if you're not like literally lifting the words and content out of somebody else's work, then it's different. I have a tendency when I go on like copyright or something, a copyright subreddit. Whenever somebody comes in and claims that somebody else ripped off their idea, my immediate instinct is to think, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. And there was this one movie that came out early this year, and I'll just say it's Horse Girl. This guy claimed that that Horse Girl starring Alison Brie stole his movie, and it pissed me off because I was watching his comparison video, and I'm like, they're nothing alike. His comparison was like, they have a girl protagonist who's sad. I had a girl protagonist who's sad. Their girl protagonist went and saw a bunch of aliens. My girl protagonist went and saw some other creatures, not necessarily aliens, but they were dark, shadowy figures. Scenes look nothing alike. Oh, and they had like two girls walking along a street talking about their problem. My movie had two girls walking the street talking about their problem. And I just kind of had it. I was like, what is your problem? You think you own a story about a girl who's upset because she had a tragic event happen to her. So no, don't worry about if the Simpsons did it, because they did it. Simpsons have done everything. So, go ahead and just it's if you watch that if you actually watch that South Park episode, they'll explain to you why Simpsons did it is not a valid argument to not do something. John, give us a Leone, please. No eyeglasses if Zoom allow it. I'm not sure what that means. You want like a Leone close up? This isn't like Cam. This isn't Cam Soda, guys. All right, 3% of you got that joke. Copyright solves everything. It does. Copyright is wonderful. I am a big copyright proponent. I am super strong copyright proponent. I'm also super strong fair use proponent. Super strong fair use. In order to have strong copyright, you need strong fair use. They need to coexist. You can't have one or the other. Strong copyright, gotta have strong fair use. Doesn't work otherwise. All right. Next year, the Uncharted film will come out. Uncharted. Okay. Let's see if that'd be fun. Cass Ullerman, my teacher showed me your videos of 3-point lighting turned many ways to many times. I'd like to do another 3-point lighting video. Actually, that's another one I want to do, because I think 3-point lighting is taught a little bit too literally. I think 3-point lighting, people think 3-point lighting means 3 lights. No, it does not mean 3 lights. It means 3-point lighting. In the literal sense, yes, it means three lights, but I think it describes 3 kinds of light, and you don't have to have all 3 in your lighting. But everything's basically described in 3-point lighting: key, fill, and backlight. All right, I know people who still use a Hack GH2 for commercial work. Why not? So cool. All right, you guys are getting tired of hearing me talking. I can hear that. But thanks for hanging out, guys. I just wanted to just kind of come on here and just say hi, because I haven't been around. I haven't put out a video in a couple, because I was going at a pace. I was putting out a video like every week for those just one thing videos, and I was starting to kind of get back in the swing of things. Trying to clean my office up a little bit, kind of get back into things. I do want to rebuild my set, because I think it's just a lot of wasted space on it. So I want to rebuild the set, but that's a long job. But I do have a video I'm working on with the tilt shift lenses. That's supposed to come out. I need to plug my Patreon more. So yeah, go on my Patreon. Thanks. Operation Baboon says go on the Patreon. Patreon.com/FilmmakerIQ. Check it out. Drop us a buck or two. And hey, always appreciate it. I have some tiers set up there. You can ignore them. Give whatever you want. Do whatever you want. And then if you send me a message on Patreon, I'm there. I'll talk to you. I'm very open, because I'm not famous. I'm not that big, guys. I'm small fry, so I have time to respond to comments. So yeah, I just wanted to hang out, to tell you guys I'm still alive. I'm still just have been sitting here the last 4 days shooting Zoom calls, and hating my life. No, just kidding. I don't like it. I enjoy it, but it is frustrating. It is frustrating. Oh my God. Good questions. Last couple comments worth to come back on. Cass Ullerman, yeah, you should do this more often. We should get together more often. Have some coffee, have a drink or two. Operation Baboon. If you need someone to talk to, let me know. There we go. We'll talk right here online. Zizzo asked, do I approach a film crew if you are a junior and want to get involved? You know what, Zizzo? You should approach your film. Yes. Remember, if you are a minor, we have to treat you a little differently as far as hours, but we would love to get you. That sounds terrible, but we love to get young blood into like sharks. We love to get young blood into the business. No, I think there's a lot of people that would love to mentor. And I'm saying this as, stop being dirty-minded, John. You're gonna get a lot of mentorship out there. I think a lot of people want to see young people get into the filmmaking, because we want you addicted. We want you addicted to that sweet 24. So no, we would love to. If you don't know who to talk to, I would start looking. Open up your phone book, look up video production, and just ask around. Maybe and see if you can like tail a video production company that's near you. That's how I started, kind of. So I interned at a cable company, so that's how I started. For Lessman, I watch your videos because I want my home videos to be better. Any tips about home video? You got them online, man. Better lighting. Lighting's the key. Better lighting is always the key for better video. Always, always better lighting. So get your lighting up to skills, and everything else will fall into place. All right, fellow filmmakers, stand out my students or just do my best. How can I stand out between my students or just do my best? Just do your best, man. Just develop your individual voice. Oh, from the Philippines. So, real quick, I guess a comment here. I think maybe we'll talk about. We'll probably do want to sign off soon. How long have I been on for? Oh, thanks, Droken Drethen. Keep up the good work, man. Big fan here. Thank you. I have been on for. I don't know how long I've been on. This is scary. I don't know. Whatever. I've been on for a while. But I will be doing. I got asked to do a. 75 minutes. Holy moly! I can talk for that long. Jeez. So I've been asked to do a talk on Zoom from Philippines about the history, or like how you can use math and science in filmmaking. And I'm thinking I'm going to talk about like how art and science are basically the same, are very, 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 very integrated. But shoot. Okay, so question. Amelia writes, before publishing your next video, shoot and publish and ads for it. I'm not sure what that means. Shoot, publish? Not quite sure what that means. Anyhow. But yeah, so if you guys have thoughts about like how math and science play into filmmaking, hey, Magellan Films, I think that's how you pronounce it. So I'm sorry, listener, if you've been washing dishes the whole time, you got a lot of dishes to get through, man. Man, that's a lot of dishes. Drunk Drethen. Do an ad for Filmmaker IQ? Okay. And then Orlando, it seems to be just typing weird stuff on his keyboard. Dutch rural province. Oh, cool. Welcome from the Dutch. Do I think the GH6 will ever come out? Yes, eventually. Right? I'm not a Panasonic guy. Sorry. So, all right. Well, I am going to probably, my throat's getting really dry from talking a lot. Oh my God. You guys keep throwing me stuff and I want to respond. Sony A7 III, thoughts? No idea. Looks good. I probably would get one if I just had a bunch of cash burning a hole in my pocket. Soon enough film background will be procedurally generate Operation Baboon. You know, that'd be nice. We're getting there. I think I get ads all the time for this thing called Kit Bash. Kit Bash, like the site called Kit Bash, that has all these useful assets to make like all kinds of backgrounds, and I'm so tempted because like $150 and you can get like New Shanghai. I'm like, I can make a movie about New Shanghai. Yeah, Magellan, I've been talking for 75 minutes. Where have you been, man? My voice is almost gone. So, thoughts on virtual production? Hate it. I think we talked about this. I hate virtual production. I wish it would. Oh, unless you're talking about Mandalorian, then maybe the Mandalorian I'm for, but not this Zoom call nonsense. All right, seriously, guys, thanks for hanging out. I am pretty darn tired. If you want to check out the new Filmmaker IQ site, let me know if you see any bugs. I'll try to take care of them if I get some time. But yeah, I think we'll probably pop that video over there as on the side as a live stream. Okay, thanks for guys for hanging out, and I think we'll try to do some more of these because you guys seem pretty enjoyed these little impromptu chats. So we will talk to you guys later as I try to find how to cut my mic. Not sure how to do it. Oh, there it is. I have to hit the end stream button. Good job, old man. We'll see you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.